Chris, good to see you.
Thanks for having me.
This is Chris Lewis, everybody. He's running for Wicomico County Council at Large. So, Chris, tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm just a regular person, a small business owner, family man. I got 4 kids. My oldest just went in the Marines. There's nothing special about me. There's nothing different about me than there is anybody else around here. I'm just taking my neck out there and doing something I think that needs to be done. And as far as running, and I think the more regular people we get in there, the better we are. I'm kind of fed up with the career politicians.
That brings us to the second question. That's a good little segue there. How do you feel? Are you part of that, like, outsiders versus the establishment? Is that how you feel?
I'm not exactly sure how to define myself or what to say I am. I am fed up with the establishment. I am upset with the career politicians. I'm upset with the people who've been in there, 10, 12, 14 years, who are coming out now in an election year saying, we have to revamp and redo things. I'm tired of politics as usual. I'm extremely fed up and tired of the politics of personal destruction. It is a system. I wouldn't say I'm an outsider versus the insider, but I'm not with the insiders. I think we need to revamp the system, go back to the way it was supposed to be, have representation of the people. It's not exactly, when you're talking about insiders, it's not exactly the system that's the problem. It's a lot to do with the people who've been in it for so long. They've lost the idea and realization of what it's about. That goes back years and years. But
You touched on politics of personal destruction. What do you feel like about the Wicomico County political arena, circus, if you want to call it that?
Well, without trying, I'm not going to go after anybody and say ill word about anybody, but it's the same old crap that we've dealt with for a long time. Even after forums, I know forums aren't the best place because it's the same old questions. Who the people putting the forum on, they have an idea of where they want to go. But the answers you get, and then afterwards talking to the people, you get the sense that they've lost touch with a lot of what needs to be done. The answers are not with government, even locally. It's not with the county, it's not with the city, it's not with the state, it's with the people. And it seems to me they've lost touch with that in a long way. I'm not very happy with them. If I was happy with them, I wouldn't be running.
Yeah, true. What is your take on one of the most controversial topics going on right now is the tax differential? What's your thoughts on it?
Well, I think that's a little more difficult to answer than most people think. Having my deli in downtown, I'm against it. I understand why people in the county are against. I'm in the city, I'm for it because I get taxed twice. I understand why the people in the county are against having it. But the answer really lies in the Board of Ed, because if the county's going to say all the money goes to the Board of Ed, then there lies the problem. It's not exactly with the taxes, it's where it's going and what you're doing with it. The Board of Ed in this county takes so much money, so much responsibility over everything, and then, everybody brings it down to a simplistic argument of the tax differential. And I think that's where I'll begin with the Board of Ed. But there lies a whole atmosphere of questions and problems that you're asking.
So there isn't anything like one thing you could say that you would do differently or would like the Board of Education to do differently to save money?
Oh, to save money, yeah. The easy answer would be to get rid of the Board of Ed. I'm not really for them. Like I've said many times, I send my kids to private school and I work my fingers to the bone. Those teachers make less. They spend half as much as government schools spend, and yet you don't see teachers out there asking for higher taxes to pay their money. You don't see the administrative and the education department coming out there and saying we need more money. The system's a problem with government schools. We spend more money left and right every year. It never gets better. If you think about it, the Board of Ed has been around a long time. The schools have never gotten better. The grades have never gotten better. We've receded in everything we've done. So an intelligent person and anybody with common sense would have to realize that the problem lies within that central organization. The Board of Ed is not looking out for the best interest of our children. It's looking out for the union members, their teachers, and the administrative.
Another topic that's regarding the county, how do you feel about the city-county police force talk that's been going on? Are you for or against the joint, or are you okay with the way it is?
Oh, I'm against the joint. You know, there's many reasons to be against it. First and foremost, if you're going to have a central organization, then you're talking about another government agency. And eventually, at some point, probably rather quickly, everybody's going to be appointed based on our political beliefs. So if you have the head of that organization appointed by somebody just based on their beliefs who's a total idiot, then everybody suffers. At least right now you have organizations and different police departments who have different heads and different leaders. If one falters, the other can pick up the slack. But I'm not, you're talking about a utopian idea that everything can be put under one umbrella and work perfectly. And anything the government's ever touched has never worked out well. They don't do a whole lot very well at all except take our money.
Is there what would you like to see Wicomico County 5 or 10 years out? You were elected and got reelected again. What's like a long-term, short-term goal you would like?
The short-term goal would be elected and not be elected again.
Not be elected. He's honest, but
a lot of people understand how Wicomico County is, how the state of Maryland is, how we're so anti-business. We're just trying to take money left and right from the people. This is not a place I grew up in. I mean, I grew up here, I left here, I came back. I'm extremely disappointed in the way we're going. We need to lower taxes. We've got to let people keep their hard-earned money. We have got to elect people who represent the people instead of being in there for their own self-interest. Locally, we've become almost a mirror of our federal government. We're people who want everything for themselves. They want to talk down to the people, tell us how to live, how to spend our money, what do we have to pay for, what we don't have to pay for. That's what I think. We have to loosen regulations. We have to lower taxes, loosen regulations, get government off the backs of people. Let people just live. Let us succeed or fail based on our own merits, our own efforts, and then so be it. If we fail, we get up and we try again. But the government handouts, the government saying they're going to be the salvation to everything, it's never worked. And locally, we're doing the same thing our federal government's doing.
you were pretty outspoken member of Tea Parties, and as you're wearing your shirt. How do you feel about AFP and the Tea Party as it's progressed since its inception?
Well, when it first became about, it was a great idea. It was leaderless. It was all about the people. Now, of course, as it's progressed, you have people trying to stand up, take credit for it, certain organizations, certain parties trying to co-opt it. That's bound to happen. I think the Tea Party was a foundation. It's a stepping stone. It's something for people to get involved with and do the next step. People were fed up and angry. They wanted a way to voice their opinion. This began that. The more and more that politicians talk down to it, try to make it to be something it's not, the more power it gives to the people, and the more scared the politicians become, which creates the whole scenario again. But as with the first Tea Party, it was a step. It's a stepping stone to the next step, which is a lot of the people who got involved the first time are now running. They're getting more involved in the political process. Therefore, they have people who got involved in the first time that are supporting them and helping out. And in essence, trying to create government in a way that represents the people and take it over. So, it was great. Now it's losing a little bit of luster with all the organizations, all the people coming and trying to take it over. But it's not going to. It doesn't hurt the whole concept of the Tea Party, because the Tea Party, in essence, is nothing but the people, and that is and what is so great about it.
You have a unique perspective since you have a business on downtown Plaza. Is there anything that's been going on in Wicomico County that has impacted your business, positive or negative?
On the downtown Plaza?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, my biggest competitor on the downtown Plaza is nothing other than the government. You gotta love the downtown Plaza. You gotta pay for every little spot. They raise taxes. I love the pre-water treatment bill before the water treatment bill. Everything they try to do or they say they're doing to help downtown is backfired. It's horrible. They need to close it down, make it more business friendly. But yeah, that's Ronald Reagan said it best. Government's not the solution; it's the problem, and that's what you're seeing locally. The government's kind of destroyed downtown. As you look at downtown, it's all become, more rents, more privately owned. People are just renting. they've lost a lot of business. In the last 3 years, they've lost a lot of businesses down there, you know. And they're losing them left and right now. I know a couple businesses that were coming in and they scooted and didn't leave and didn't come in, they left. The taxes are outrageous, the parking's horrible, and everybody has just a little talking points. And I think they use the talking points of how they're going to save downtown to get themselves to elected to either government or a board. I do have to admit the third Friday though is a pretty good idea. It does bring people down there. Granted, I know other localities have done it, and it didn't help that, you know, the Shorebirds had a home game every Friday when they had it. But there's a lot of people that come down here, and there's a lot of interesting people that come down that you'll meet, you know, authors and people who sell their own wares. It's a good concept, but that's something that should have been done a long time ago.
Well, everybody, that's Chris Lewis. He's running for County Council at Large as a Republican, and if you're looking to vote, cast a vote Chris's way. I appreciate everybody. Thanks.